Hi everyone, I'm Abel Maningas. I'm a product designer from 10 and 11 Design. Today, I'm gonna share with you the process of building a website and what goes into it. So, if you're any kind of business today, I'm sure that website is something that is interesting for you. This is a tool for marketing and sales, and since everyone is on digital right now, it would be a very good opportunity for you to capitalize on this. So I thought everyone could benefit from learning about the process and the things that go into it. So they could build their own websites, or they could get a website that really or suits their business and really achieves what they want to do and really returns the investment that they put into. Okay, so that being said, we'll go into it. So say you've decided that you want to get a website for your business, or you want to try and test out websites as a sales or marketing tool. The next question for you is, how do I build it? So this video will hopefully answer that. So yeah, um, in 10 and 11 we like to break it down into three steps, which is defining the website requirements, coming up with the design, and then having the development proceed, or building the website essentially. So even before we go into into detail, let's first answer why do we want, or why do we have this process? So having this process really helps us understand the cost benefit of the investment that you're making, because you know that um, the thing that you're building for will really yield something for your business, because you can't really just arbitrarily decide that, okay, I'm just gonna build a website, but you don't know how you're gonna turn it into money or revenue for, or any kind of goal for your business, and then it's not gonna be justified that way. So you want to understand the why you're paying, or what you're paying, and then what you're gonna get out of it. So cost benefit. And then the next thing is, you want to know, or you want to guarantee that you're building the right thing for your business. So understanding the business first is very important, and then understanding the users. So what's the right thing that meets the business and the user's goals, and then that's gonna be the right solution for you. And then lastly is this kind of process improves the chances of success, because you're since you've built the right thing for both sides of the business, you almost sure, of course there are other factors, but better you have better chances that this product, or this investment, this thing that you've spent on this website will work. So yeah, um, those are the main three things. So we'll move on. So even before you get into the website, as I've said, you want to define what you want to achieve, or what you want the website to do for you essentially, and then that in the form of a business goal. And then you want to have a visual branding, or an identity system, so your customers could identify you on the internet, because there are many things floating, or many entities floating there. You want to make sure to know that they know that it's you that they're interacting with. So what are the business goals, or outcomes? So you say you want to get more revenue to sell more products online. So that's one goal that you could have. And then you want to hire people. You want to create awareness for your brand, or awareness for a cause. Say you're an NGO or something like that. Um, and then you can also, if you also want to build a community for your users, you could that's something that a website could do. Or maybe you even want to have a new service, a totally new service for to support the product, or even just essentially a new service online. So those things are something that a website could do. I'm sure there are more, but these are the most basic ones. But yeah, you want to define that first, so you know what you're trying, or you know the goal of the website, or what kind of website, or what features will go into that website. And then the next one is the visual identity branding. You want to come up with an identity system, so all of your um, all of your products, or all of your material, sorry, would be consistent on the internet. So they could identify you, that it's you. So you know, if it's Apple, say, you know if it's Nike, you know if it's Adidas. So because they have an identity system, and you want that for yourself first, or for your company. So that being said, we'll move on. So website requirements. So this is the first part of the process, is essentially establishing the website requirements. So as we said a while ago, business goals. So you want to identify what the business needs, or what does the business need or want to achieve. So that's the business goal. And then the user goals and journey is essentially what your users want, what your customers want to do in your website. That could be done through research, or that can be predefined. And then the journey, which is the process that they go through to achieve that goal, or to achieve a certain goal that they have with your business. Say they want to buy something from you. What is the journey that they go through to be able to buy a product from you, or a service from you? And you want to map that out, and then find points where you could improve, and then you could recreate it on the website, or you could even improve it on the website. So what do your customers need, and what do they want? Essentially defining that, and then what do they need to have to be able to achieve those goals. So those are the first two requirements: business goals and the user goals and journey. So to be able to clearly define what the user goals are and the user journey is, we use these tools, which we call the persona and the customer journey map. These are design tools that help us understand the users better. So the persona is essentially a beefed up demographic of your users, or your customers, that clearly shows the goals, the pains, and motivations, or needs that they have with your business. And then the customer journey is just the map, or the process that they go to through the interactions that they have with your business, or to achieve the goal that they're doing. So it even goes beyond um, where where your business is. So let's say at the point where they think they need something from you, you want to um, go into as deep as that. And then the customer journey map could find opportunities to improve, um, to be able to improve your business goals. So the next part of the process is the design, and it's usually split into two, which is the experience design, and later the interface design, which I'll show you. So in the experience design, you want to clearly define the user flows, the information architecture, and content strategy. This could feel very um, this could feel very intimidating because of the terms, but I'll put it simply. Um, User flows, put simply, are what are the tasks of the user within the website that you're building. So you want to def- define all that, or create or design all of those, the flows that they will go through to be able to achieve their goals. And then once you have that, you'll be able to create the information architecture, or how, essentially how the information in the website will be organized based on the flows that they will go through. Say they will look at the products first, and then go to buying, going to checkout, or going through more information about the products. So that's the user flow and the information architecture. And then lastly, the content strategy, essentially designing what kind of, or deciding what kind of content that you will use in your website based on what the user needs to see and what the business wants to show. So that's experience design in a nutshell for a website. So here you could see the user flows. So they go into your website, and they take the steps. So just it's essentially a flow diagram. And then information architecture, although it looks kind of the same, it's more of a hierarchy of pages or the content or information that goes into your website. So it's sort of like a floor plan for your website. Okay. So next, after you've designed the experience already, you want to go into interface design. So interface design essentially designing what you could see on the website already. So the first one, or there are two things that go into it: is the usability and aesthetics. I think that's easy to understand. How will the website look and feel? Because you've predefined the experience already, and a little bit of the feeling as well. But you want to um, define, or you want to design how it would look or what the user would see then, and um, how they would be able to interact with the interface or with the service or with the website that you built. So usability is just essentially how user friendly it is, for to put it easier, and then aesthetics is how will it look like. So this is where the visual branding comes in, and then the content is what will be the text and images that you will use. So sometimes you get copywriters to do this and photographers to come up with new photos, or you could even make it your own in house. You just have to write it and then create the photos yourself. So that's essentially the design phase. So um, the outputs of that phase is essentially the wireframes and the mock-ups. So the wireframes are more focused on the usability. So how the content will be structured based on the or on the experience that you've designed, and the usability of how it should work, how people would be able to find it, find the products that they need. And then mock-ups essentially showing you the actual look and feel of the website already. So as you can see on the right, really it looks like a real app already, but this is still just a mock-up. It's not yet a developed one. So lastly, after you've come up with the design already, you want to go into development. So this is our software developers, software engineers who handle the development process. So there's usually two steps to development, which is the front end and the back end. So the back end is essentially just building the parts that you can see. So from the mock-ups, they could just essentially copy everything there that the designer made, and then the back end is building the features or having the hosting, and then the domain. So I'll get into that in a bit. Features is essentially building how the website would work. Hosting is how do you put it? Creating the house of your website on the internet, and then the domain is essentially your address. So the domain is the www.yourcompany.com. So that's the domain. So that's essentially your address. That needs to be set up when you're building a website, as well as the hosting, which is the house, your house on the internet, or where the website will be physically placed. So the computer that stores the files of your website. So when people access or go to www.yourcompany.com, they'd be able to go into the server and pull the files of your website to be able to see your website. Okay, so that's how to, I guess I would put it simply. So lastly, once you've done all the website, you're gonna be curious about how to essentially how much everything or all of this would cost. So although I cannot give a specific answer, because it usually depends on what kind of features, what kind of things that would go into your website, because you could have copy and all that stuff, and photos and development if it's a very complicated feature. But I'm gonna just break it down into two. So first is there's an upfront initial investment fees, because to build this, or the process that we talked about, that's the upfront initial investment that you have to make. And then the next one is the management fees, which is the hosting and the domain, which you have to pay yearly. It's not necessarily with the developer that builds it or makes it, but it could be through other services like GoDaddy.com and other, or Google even. So, and then if you want someone else to manage the website for you, which is like putting content into the website, answering or maintaining the website, essentially, those usually have fees as well. But um, the upfront investment, so that's the upfront investment and the management fees. So that's the two kinds of payments that you have to make for a website. So I have to stress that the initial investment that you make will depend on what you need the website to do, the features that will go into the website, and then all of the content and all of the design that you will need for it. So that's the initial investment. So I think it's important to talk about the alternatives as well, or things that are related to the website. So first, there are templates. Definitely, there are templates like Shopify, like Wix.com, Foursquare. So as well, I'm not really familiar with Foursquare, but yeah, these are templates that you could use essentially because it sort of um, hastens or accelerates the process that we talked about a while ago by giving you pre-made stuff already. So the development is done already. Um, Even though design is almost done, actually, you just have to fill in the photos and the content. That's honestly a very, very cheap. That's a lot cheaper. Those are cheaper alternatives. But but the cons of doing that is it's not as flexible. Some features you can't do there, or some stuff you can't do there. Say you need to build um, a commenting system that's, or well, you want to have comments from your customers in your website. That's not necessarily, you can't just have that in those kinds of websites usually. So there are drawbacks, but it's a lot cheaper. So um, I I've personally used other alternatives before. I liked Shopify because I had to sell a physical product online, and I think Shopify worked really well. But I had to judge it first to make sure that it's gonna fit what I need for the website that I'm building. And yeah, it worked. Although there are some limitations, like the design that I made didn't really fit it, so I just had to use the content that I had and the photos that I had and put it on the Shopify website, and then just work with what the template that they give me could give me. So that's that. So another one is landing pages. So a landing page um, is usually just a one pager that almost works like a website. So it's sort of like a brochure. It's a lot cheaper than a website because obviously it's just one page. Although it's very limited with what it could do. Um, there are, I think you could capture some contacts there as well, but a landing page is an alternative if what you need isn't that complicated, or what the business needs isn't that complicated. A website is a alternative that you could have. And then lastly is social media. I wanted to talk about social media because people would say, why have a website, and why invest in that, because you could sell online. Well, it's social media isn't really a place to sell. Well, to sell, it's think of it as a place for advertisement. So social media is where people are usually, and say think of it as you could share flyers there, but the website is your retail store where people could fully experience your brand, talk to your sales agents, and see your products. So the website is not really, or the social media isn't really the best place for that. That's why people always say that, or people have this problem where they have put bad reading comprehension, because people would ask how much, even though the price is listed on the post. Yeah, that's because the social media platform isn't really highlighting the price, versus in a website you could put a picture that really shows the price, so people don't have to ask questions anymore. So yeah, I'm not gonna go super into it, but um, that's I thought that's something that has to be talked about. And then lastly is beyond the website is digital marketing. So say you've built the website already, invested in the website already, um, you're gonna be curious about what digital marketing is. So people are gonna well, you're gonna come across digital marketing for sure. But essentially, digital marketing is a way to um, build a system that gets people on your website so you could sell better, because you could have a website, but if people can't find it on the internet, they won't be able to go there. So there are different aspects to digital marketing. It's a very big and a broad field. There's SEO, there's content marketing, and click funnels. I'm not gonna go into it, but that's something that comes when you have a website already, or as you're building the website. So essentially, think of it as a way to get people to go to your website so they could buy stuff from you. So yeah, that's digital marketing. There are other experts there. This is beyond me, but I do know some things, so you could ask me later in the comments. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you for listening, and I hope you've learned a couple of things from this video. This very quick and dirty video. Um, so just leave your comments or questions in the comments. I'm really very happy to get your feedback and your thoughts. So just leave it there, or you could send me an email at abel@1011design. And here are my social media pages. You could just follow them. So I hope you found this very helpful, and hope you have a good day. Bye bye.